Welcome back to JB ADV, guys. My name is Jacob. Thank you for joining me yet again for another good video. Today we're going to be in the garage once again working on the CRF250L. We just got back from Ohio, and as you guys saw from the videos, this bike took quite a bit of tumbles. And overall, we just got some work we have to work on. Some things that I didn't even plan to happen, and we're just going to address it. Some stuff happened previously, and now I want to address it, so on and so forth. So welcome back, guys. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you hit subscribe, and keep joining us for more of these garage videos and riding videos. I'm happy to make them for you guys, and I'm really enjoying making all these videos for you guys, and I just enjoy riding. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So thank you once again for joining. Let's hop right into it, and let's discuss what we got to get done to this bike today. We're going to start up front. The first thing is from going down a couple times, these hand guards, they pressed their way up. They rotated up on me from hitting the ground. So we're going to have to take these and knock them back down so or at least try to so they fit more where they originally were. I just don't like them up so high. I want them back down to where I know they'll be, because right now this is not doing anything for my lever at all. So that's step one, is taking these and moving them down. Along with that, in the front end, I don't know if she's gonna be able to get a good picture of this. I'll slide the bike sideways, but if you look where the fender line kind of comes down here, the tire is totally rotated off to the right-hand side. We totally knocked the tire to the right, and it is not in alignment anymore, so we're gonna have to line that back up. That's not such a big deal. We'll just loosen up the middle clamps here, and we'll just knock it straight. So that's what we're doing in the front end. Along with that, we're going to be doing new front brakes as well, which brings me to the back, which let's explain the rear brake situation. We come down to the rear brakes, guys. I want to show you this. So when we started the ride, I had about half life left on these brake pads. I have about 4,500 miles on this bike. Brakes have always been fine for me. I always wanted to upgrade from OEM, but I just never really had the need to. Well, check this out now. We have no pads in there. So the pads have totally disappeared from us. I noticed on the last ride, toward the end of the ride, that I was starting to get pretty grinding, like a lot of grinding noises, and I was like, oh, it's just a lot of mud. We're really ripping through a lot of mud today. No, the pads are completely gone. You guys can actually see the clean part of the piston back there, where it pressed out over there, and how much pad I really did have there, because there's a clean part to the piston and a dirty part to the piston. But yeah, you guys can also see where it just started rubbing metal on the rotor there. I'm hoping this is focusing. And honestly, it's still fairly smooth. I could probably take like a whiz wheel or sandpaper and smoothen this out without replacing the rotor, but I'm just gonna run it as is because it's not bad. I mean, it looks bad because it's like surface rust lines, but it's really not that bad. So we also have to replace these rear pads here. As far as the chain, I think it's still in pretty good tolerance. It's not too loose on me yet. No, that's pretty good. So we're not gonna have to touch that at all. This bent on me, but I took some pliers and I started to bend it out. It's gonna work good enough for right now, so I'm not gonna go ahead and order one of those. Same with the brake pedal on this side, the foot lever. You guys literally watched that in the video of me bending this back out on the trail. When we got back here, I bent it out just a little bit more. Honestly, it's gonna do its job. Like I said in the video, it'll probably be good until I bend it again. So I'm not too worried about it. Up here, this has been a constant issue. You guys watch me pop this back in by hand on the trail. There's a rubber grommet that sits back here. If any of you have had this happen, then you'll know. I just ordered a couple little rubber grommets and a new washer in here. So we'll try to take a look at that and see if I can pop that back in pretty well. Aside from that, we may need to bleed brakes and or add some fluid. Once we get the rear brakes in, we'll see where the brake fluid level's at right here, but we may need to bleed those. I don't think we're gonna have to, but we'll take a look. Really, the only other thing that's gonna be that I don't have the parts in yet for is take a look at this radiator. It is not supposed to be bent up like that. So this rad got pretty bent up for a couple hits that I took in a previous trip. It was not in Ohio that this happened. So this is what's been sitting there. So this is actually so bent now that I actually can press it back in, but there's no point. I actually have a new one of these already on hand, and I have a new rad that's supposed to be here in the next like 3 to 4 days. So we're definitely gonna replace that, because if it gets another solid hit on that, it'll start leaking and that'll be a bad situation. Plus, I just want everything, I want to make sure everything is good to go. So we're gonna be replacing that too once that gets into play. But that's pretty much it. It's not a lot of work, so this video shouldn't be too long, but it's just a lot of little things that we have to do that kind of add up to one big mess. The wireless charger's still doing good here, and the wired USBs are still doing good as well. So other than that, everything else is doing good on the bike so far. It's just all these little nuances we gotta take care of. So let's just jump in, and I'm gonna start with the front end first. I'm gonna loosen up some parts here, and we're gonna try to knock this tire back straight here, and then we'll probably do the pads as well. And then we'll move on to the hand guards and get them pushed down as best as we can. And then we'll try to move into the back and do that, and then we'll just kind of try to button up the rest. So, but first I'm gonna start off by trying to straighten out this front tire. It's crazy to think that this moves when it's that tight, but man, I mean, your hits on the ground are so hard, you just don't realize it, you know? Kind of have to be like gentle too, because I feel like these bolts are so soft, you don't want to round them. Yeah. If you do, you're gonna be in for a bad time. Damn, you don't realize how far out that is.
Jeez.
No, I think it just seated itself back in, to be completely honest with you.
Let me see, how's it look?
I think it just seated itself straight. That looks pretty straight to me. It's gonna be very hard to tell on camera, guys, but let me take a look at this and see if I just seated it down. I'm gonna tighten it up and just get a feel for it. I really won't know until I take it out on the road, because, like, you know, depending on what angle I look at here, it might look, but I think it just knocked itself straight, so we're gonna just run with that. That's all it takes, is just to loosen the middle ones. You don't want to loosen those top ones, because if you loosen those top ones, then everything starts to shift and it just gets all out of whack. If this ever happens to you guys, just loosen these middle ones first, or your secondaries, whatever you want to call them, your lowers, and just try to give it a quick twist. If you're out in the trail, then obviously a quick tree or something, but if you can and you have your 10 mil or 12 or whatever your bike requires, give it a shot with just doing the middle first. Chances are that's what's going to end up helping. All right, for the next step, we're just going to tackle these handguards. What I'm going to have to do is get a small Allen. I'm going to have to loosen this part up here that actually attaches to the bars. And then I'm going to have to come over to the bar ends and probably loosen these up so it'll allow it to twist really easy. What generally happens with these that I've noticed is, whether you think it does or not, when you clamp these, it actually bends that bar just enough that it finds a perfect spot that it likes to seat. Hopefully when it twisted, it didn't like round that, so I could find the spot. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens though. And I think I'm just gonna pay the extra money now to go for center reach styles from now on, or triple clamp mounts, because it's worth the extra money to not have them rotate as often on you. If they do rotate, chances are you bent the whole handguard. In that case, I hope the handguard did its job, because that's a hell of a fall. I'm gonna have to dig out the dirt in that end cap before I can get in there with the, you know what? I don't even want to try to move this one, because this one actually tweaked. So we're gonna just, yeah, we're just gonna have to maybe use a hammer and knock it down, I'm thinking. Try the game plan.
Let me see if I can hold the bike and...
Somewhere around there was probably where it was. I don't really quite remember. Let's see if it rotates on me though when I go to tighten this now though. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes now you go to tighten this and it'll want to shift back up to where it just was, because it knows it was just seated there. Compared to the install we just did on Pauline's Beta, guys, I mean, how much easier it was on that bike. This I'm not gonna be able to go tighter on, so they're just gonna have to be right there. And then I could see how much higher that one is, so let's loosen this side up. Yeah, this side's really loose. Like really, really loose. Yeah. Alright, we'll get the trusty mallet one more time and try not to hit our brake line. Try to see if we can level these out.
Oh my god, the dirt's flying out.
I know.
It's not. It's flying out from in there.
From in there. Yeah, look at it all in there.
Oh my god.
You'd think a power washer would have gotten all that, but I guess not.
This side.
I think that's probably gonna do it, so we'll just tighten that up for now.
What's nice about mine too is it takes up less bar space.
I know.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's the other bonus to it too, really. That's probably good right there. So that's 2 things done. We straightened the front tire. We got these lowered back down. The next step we're gonna do, I think, is probably the brake pads. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the fronts first. Just undo the one caliper bolt, peel them away, pop the brake pads out, and try to put it all back together. We'll see how this goes. That was pretty easy. Nice and easy. Let's undo this one. We'll pull that slide out, and then we should be able to slide them right out.
I got the dust falling out of there.
Oh, it's horrible.
Damn.
There they are. As you can see, that was probably about how much pad was left in the rear before they decided to go on vacation permanently. So yeah, those were on an extended leave. That's what made me decide to just get all new ones. I didn't know what brand to really go with. I know a lot of people go with EBC and everything, but I went with Tusks. I know some people go with Bike Master as well. I just went with Tusks. They seem to be a good price, and they gotta be better than having no pads. So I'll let you know how they are. And then this one comes in. Sorry guys, I kind of have to look at where they're getting inserted before
I think I got it.
Before I can just let it go there. All right, so there's that. And then we'll see if I separated it enough to get it back in there. There we go. I'm gonna drop this in first before I, just so it doesn't move on me. I'm not tightening it all the way yet. I just want to get it somewhat there. And we'll take this one. That's probably the correct torque spec right there. That should be the front brakes. Give them 2 tree squeezes. We're good to go. That's super awesome. Let's go ahead to the rear and get those brake pads done. So we got to start off by removing this little dust cap that just sits in there. It's just a little rubber dust cap that sits right in for your pin. Same as the front that runs through there. I'm thinking I shouldn't have to. The thing is that I have no brake pads left, so my piston's fully extended as far out as they could. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the caliper to do that, but if I do, it should be the same as the front. Just unbolt it, spin it up. I'll just press it in as best as I can, and then we'll repeat the process just like the front. These are just a little different. This is a 5mm Allen key. A little different than the 8mm hex that was in the front. Let's see how bad this was on this side.
Oh my god.
Okay, no, there's pad there. Did I just eat through that much rear pad when we were off-roading? Is that, I mean, it's possible. No, that one totally is gone. So this one did not disappear, but you can see it just barely started eating its way into the actual metal. So really, it's not too bad. If I wanted to go the extra mile, I could definitely take a piece of sandpaper and try to evenly go around this, and I could, or even a whiz wheel, and I could easily resurface this. So we're just gonna run it. It should be fine. It's a Honda. Okay guys, right where my screwdriver is, hopefully you guys can see that in the thing. There's a lot. This is right at the tip where the brake actually seats into, and there's a metal clip here that it sits in. There was a lot of dirt back here, so I was just cleaning that up on both sides, and I just slid the caliper over so I can fit the new thicker brake pads in. And now I'm just gonna fit them in just like I did the front and put the pin back in, and we should be good to go. Yeah, like these actually are a lot nicer in OEM, it looks like.
Well, it's hard to compare because
it is hard to compare, but I mean, it just seems like they are a lot nicer. Make sure I'm seated right on the back. Yep, there we go. So we're in on that side. Make sure I come back and I seat on that side. Done. Get this little pin in. When you're done with that, guys, just make sure you put your little dust seal back in there so you don't corrode those threads. All that's left now is to give these a good pump here. It's gonna go all the way down. You just wanna, so there it is. And yeah, that did go way back up. So I think we'll be good with that. If anything, I could top this off just a hair. It's a little below the upper line, but so far I think we're gonna be okay though. The next thing I'm gonna work on should be fairly simple. Way back within the first couple months I got this bike, I dumped it on the right-hand side. This first peeled right off, and I was like, oh man, like what do I do? And now you can see it's like super jiggly and it doesn't really stick too long. I bought new rubber seals. I'm hoping that fixes it. Just because even on mild crashes, I don't really show it on camera, but even on mild crashes, this pops off all the time. Actually, there it is right there.
Look at it, it's ripped.
Yeah, it's totally ripped and torn apart, and there's supposed to be a washer too. Something silly. I think this was 56 cents, guys. I'm not even kidding. I really do think this was like a 56-cent part, but it was just something. Oh yeah, you can see how it was totally torn apart on the left there for you guys, and on the right it's brand new. So yeah, it was doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because that fits in like that, but then you could easily pop off from a smaller side.
Yeah, I'm too.
So I'm gonna go fatter side.
On the outside.
On the outside, I'm gonna press this in here. Kind of a little bit of a pain to press in. There we go. Pressed in. And now I'm going to seat this down and give that a turn.
Sweet.
Still a little bit, but it does not want to pop off now. So that takes care of that too. So now that's rock solid as well. Okay guys, that completes this little episode. I hope you guys enjoy these garage videos. We don't go into too depth or do like too professional, but I figure I'm making more videos for you guys, and I know you guys like hanging out and seeing what we're doing behind the scenes. Once again, thank you to everybody who made this far into the video, and thank you so much for everybody who's a new person here, for a new subscriber. If you guys want to, you guys can definitely hit that subscribe button. It's right down there by the like button. Definitely hit both of those and stay posted. We got a lot more content coming. Thank you again for joining us here on JB ADV. Once again, my name is Jacob. We'll see you out on the trails, guys. Take it easy. Peace.